You are now tuned in to DAR Sports Media, and we are busting in with some breaking news. Well, breaking news earlier on today, but very topical and something that we have discussed right here on this here show. Old Bob Saleh, old Robert Saleh, let go by the Jets in what I feel like is a situation that has to have more going on behind closed doors. I think that we'll maybe hear about later, because it just seems peculiar to me that after sticking with him through two horrendous seasons and last year, now they're jumping ship. Not even in the second week of October, with not even, it's not like they're 0-5. I mean, 2-3, you'd rather be better. We're going to talk about another 2-3 team that should be much better in a little bit, but 2-3. You know, you could be better, but you certainly could be worse. I don't think it's looked like a fucking nightmare so far. But ultimately, man, he has a bottom 5 win percentage for somebody with this many games. That hasn't ever been good at any point. It just seems like a strange time for me to move on. Some of the rumors are saying that possibly, they think that they could still go as far as you can imagine this year, and it just wasn't going to happen with that guy at the helm. They still think that they could do a lot this year. I cannot recall any teams that fired their coach in October and ended up doing anything for the season overall, but the season is longer these days, I suppose. True. What do you think, man? Bob Saleh out the door, first coach fired real early in the season.
He's not the coach I thought would have went first. That's for sure. I think there's a couple other coaches you could have looked at that, could definitely go. I don't know, man. I think it's interesting because the Jets aren't a bad team, right? I don't think the Jets are a bad team. I know Tay has been their biggest cheerleader so far this season, and I think they have some good pieces there. I think we're just waiting for Aaron Rodgers to get back. I think we were looking to see what that team would look like. And I'm going to just say it, man, Rodgers, I mean, I guess you could look at the play calling. You could look at, some of the some of the decisions they've made. But Aaron Rodgers is not Aaron Rodgers anymore. And I think we kind of need to accept that. He's had flashes here and there, but he's not the same quarterback. And honestly, I think that's really what it boils down to. And he could be a scapegoat here. I mean, he's obviously not a coach that will lead you somewhere. That's obvious. But I don't necessarily see a coach right now that could do that. And it's slipping my mind right now who they are putting in place of old Bob, but I don't believe
49ers
I just don't believe the Jets are going to get any better necessarily as a result of this. I think it's honestly, I think it's not a personnel issue because I mean you got a lot of great players. You got Garrett Wilson, you got Breece Hall, you got a bunch of guys who on paper look great, but it's just something's missing with that team. I don't think getting rid of Bob is going to actually change the dynamic of this team. I haven't looked at the schedule for the next, say 4 or 5 weeks, but I don't necessarily see a big change or a bunch of wins coming, and this is not going to turn around the season, basically, in my opinion.
Tay, you're big on the Jets, man. There's a lot to get to here. What are your thoughts?
I kind of had a feeling that was going to happen. I didn't know what would happen on a Tuesday, but I was thinking I think I was watching another game. I think I was watching a Bengals game too. I was like, I don't know. This is like it's just kind of you need to win this kind of game. There's some coaches out there like the Jaguars too. Like if they lost, I think Doug Peterson would have been fired too. But yeah, I've definitely been been thinking about that. Like, just looking at some head coaches and seeing, if they're on the hot seat or not. And Saleh was one of them. Like, yeah, he had good defenses and stuff like that. Like, can't deny that at all. But sometimes you just need something different. You just need a different voice sometimes, like team rallies behind new coaches and whatnot. They could go on the street, they can go on a run, like even if it doesn't match the X's and O's, like just having someone different in charge could change everything. I think the Jets will be just fine. I think they're still learning how to play together and stuff like that. They didn't play all that bad. They should have gotten blown out, honestly. Aaron Rodgers turning the ball over left and right. They didn't really play that bad, in my opinion. They were down 17-0. They came back, made it interesting. Like they could have won that game multiple times, but yeah, people were saying, should have been Nathaniel Hackett. I don't agree with that yet because that Aaron Rodgers likes Nathaniel Hackett, and that kind of ties it to the quarterback. You don't want to change, the quarterback's play caller and stuff like that so early. So that's why they picked the head coach to fire instead.
So do you think it was the right move? Would you have done this? Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't fire 2 coaches in a year. I don't think I've ever seen that. But you got to fire one. It's usually the head coach 9 times out of 10. Like, like last year we did see offensive coordinator get fired and it worked out. But yeah, sometimes you just got to remove the head coach and just bring someone else, or just literally keep it in house. That's usually how it goes. Keep it in house and team just right, like the Raiders last year. Like sometimes you just get a burst of energy just because you got a new head coach.
So do you think this is going to end up working out for the Jets? You still think they're going to make the playoffs?
Yeah.
With a fired coach. All right. Well, what else stood out to you this weekend? We got them Washington Commanders still fucking rolling.
Yes, sir.
I know I'm sad that we're missing Axe right now because we love to talk about with Axe about sexual predator Deshaun Watson. 125 yards on 28 attempts. He is I just cannot get over how insane this whole deal. The dude had one of the best quarterbacking seasons in the history of the NFL. Didn't play for 2 years, and now is not even a backup, not even in the top 50 fucking quarterbacks in the NFL. It just defies it. He's not even 30. Dude's 29. He just turned 29, and it's just gone. The devil, God don't like ugly, I guess, right? I mean, that's
amen to that, brother.
What can they? First, let's talk about your Commanders, and then we'll dig into some sexual predator Deshaun Watson. What about them Commanders, man?
Yeah, the Commanders.
Is this gonna happen? Is this gonna be for real? Are they gonna win this fucking division?
That's what it's looking like. I gotta see how we shape up against the other teams in the division. Like we haven't played the Cowboys and Eagles yet. I want to see how that goes too, because I feel like you got to beat those teams as well. But as of right now, yeah, I'm feeling confident. We're scoring 30 points each and every game. Like the offense is red hot. Like we can't be stopped at all. Like with the Saints, what people thought the Saints were those first, well, not me, but what everyone else thought the Saints were those first 2 weeks. That's what the Commanders are right now. Just blowing.
And what's crazy is the numbers don't even represent. Jaden Daniels made a fucking insane throw to Terry McLaurin that Terry McLaurin wasn't able to bring in and should have. Like that's a catch Terry McLaurin makes. Fucking killed me. I have him on one of my fantasy teams. But Jaden Daniels is even better than what it looks like on the score box. So, like, goddamn, we get on here every week and we talk about this. Is this Vikings thing for real? Which, by the way, midnight is approaching, and y'all that got up early enough to watch that game, you've seen Sam Darnold. Midnight is approaching, but this Commanders thing, we got to really start discussing, is this going to be for real? Is this going to end up fucking working out for them? And so far, so good, man. Jaden Daniels has stepped into the limelight, and he has got it. There's been some discussion. The only NFL MVP that was a rookie was Jim Brown. Do you think, from what you've seen, I mean, shit, if he keeps it up, he's still at 78% completion. Is Jaden Daniels going to have a shot at this, Tay?
Yeah, there's a possibility. I don't. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go with no. I don't think they'll do it. There's just no way. They won't do something like that.
Beaten down Commanders fan over the years.
Yeah, there's no way. There's just no way they're gonna give it to a rookie. Like, I think if CJ Stroud, if he didn't get it, there's just no way. They're gonna find someone else. They're gonna force it to Lamar again. With how many touchdowns do you have? 20. Yeah, they're gonna force it to Lamar or something that.
Lamar looked like the fucking MVP. Lamar looked like the best quarterback in the fucking league on Sunday. I mean, I put him up above Mahomes right now because Mahomes and them aren't doing a fucking thing. Mahomes is doing really good with what he has to work with, but
breezing by.
Fucking Lamar, man. God damn it. But you think they'll give it to Lamar before they give it to Jaden Daniels? I don't know. Jaden Daniels
they're gonna give it to someone else. There's no way they give it to a rookie, even if it's deserved. Like, they'll give it to someone else.
Deshaun Watson, man. I don't know. General thoughts. I don't even know what to ask because I feel like at this point they're only keeping him in because they're paying him so much money. It's like a sunken cost. Like, they have to. They feel like, I guess.
Yeah, you do.
I just thoughts on sexual predator Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, I kind of said it before the season started. I was just out on the Browns. Like, it's solely because of Deshaun Watson. I didn't believe in, like a Deshaun Watson comeback. Like, the defense doesn't even matter at that point. If he can't even get you down the field, like, your defense is going to be out there the whole game, and they're going to give up touchdowns. They're going to give up big plays, if you can't generate offense. So I wouldn't even blame it on the Browns defense. If you have no quarterback, your quarterback can't take the ball down the field and return points, then, I mean, you're just out there playing defense for nothing. Like, offense can't keep you in the game. So the Browns aren't going to get pick sixes and fumble recovery. Like, it doesn't work. Like, you can't do that every week. So yeah, until they get a quarterback, they might get the first pick like this year. If they just keep doing the same thing and expecting Deshaun Watson to snap into it,
things are going to get interesting because if you think that Deion Sanders is allowing Shedeur Sanders to go to fucking Cleveland, you out of your fucking mind. So then that'll be a whole new fucking to do. Tate, what else have we covered? Everything. What? Did anything else stand out to you this weekend?
Yeah.
Caleb Williams and the Browns, man,
yeah.
and the Bears, man.
Caleb Williams, man. He had a great game. 304 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had 20 for 29. Made no mistakes, no fumbles, no interceptions. That's what I wanted to see. Go against a good defense. This is how it should look. You should, control the game. So yeah, great performance by the Bears in general. Like, DJ Moore had a good game. He had 2 touchdowns. Like, the Bears just came out to play, and I'm glad Caleb Williams had a good game as well. So that definitely helps. Like, that should give confidence, through the season.
Lee, you jumped in, man. What stood out to you this past NFL weekend?
That shootout between Burrow and Lamar in Cincinnati.
Hell yeah.
But I said this when it happened live. I can't believe Cincinnati lost because the holder fumbled. He had what do everybody usually say? You have one job.
Yeah.
Yeah, one job. Snap, hold, kick. 2 and 3 sounds a lot better than 1 and 4. And
yeah,
that's what stood out to me.
That game was wild because it was such a fucking battle. Like, the Bengals, it was must win, and they did everything that they could do. but Lamar, he was just. I'm just can't be stopped today. Like I'm Superman, too fucking bad. You're fucking losing. It was fucking insane. True.
Yeah.
What stood out to you, man, this past NFL week? I think I know what you need to crow about because, man, it's been ugly. But the fucking Denver Broncos, brother.
They looking good. They looking good, brother. They looking good. They looking good. I can't. I mean,
ugly look good. Sexy red in this motherfucker. Yeah.
Wow. No. Wow. To that. Nah. Watching the Broncos, man. I'm not gonna lie. It's been hard to watch them. Because I don't necessarily want to watch them because I'm expecting them to lose and lose badly. But for whatever reason, Bo Nix has been able to do something that I didn't expect him to do, which is have a team not look great, but get the job done and win. I touching on the Commanders, I got to say I'm pleasantly surprised with the Commanders and how they've been able to create such a sustainable offense and be very dominant on the offensive end. The Browns. I gotta ask Lee real quick. Lee, you're in Ohio, right? You're in Ohio, right? So
Yes. Yep.
What's the feeling about the Browns right now? Like, is there like a different feeling about the Browns in Cleveland right now because they pretty much completely stink, or is there
What different than the negative R that's already on the Browns right now?
Yeah, I mean, someone was talking about like teams getting booed at home, right, in their own home stadium. Do you think that's going to be a thing all season if the Browns don't turn it around? Like if they start getting like washed by 20, 23, 3 touchdowns, like do you think that's going to be a thing? Because I feel like at some point Deshaun Watson has got to go if this is the way it's going to
Yes.
be. So you're paying on this big contract, making all this money to virtually do nothing, to be a perennial loser. And that's not what they expected when they got rid of Baker Mayfield. On the flip side of that, Tampa Bay Buccaneers look like a much better team than the Cleveland Browns, even though that they're not perfect, but they look much better than the Cleveland Browns.
Just a quick bit of context before we get Lee's answer. Cutting Deshaun Watson would come with a $163 million fucking dead cap hit next year.
Ayo. Now that is that's a hell of a hefty hit to get rid of him. So the Cleveland Browns are pretty much they're done.
Hopeless.
They're done.
Getting booed at home. What do you think there? What's the feelings up there, Lee?
Yeah, the vibes aren't great. The vibes aren't great. I know that's putting it mildly, but that's all I can really say. Man, look, I see on Twitter, it's bad when I see on Twitter after games where normal people are pointing out he was open, he was open, he was open, and he just sit there and take sacks all game. Like you said, that's not what we signed him for. And, I feel like if Jameis gets a chance to get out on the field and play, and he plays well like Flacco did, you may have to cut ties with him. You may have to cut ties with Deshaun and just start all over. Eat all that dead cap money and start all over.
It's tough to keep him around.
Yeah.
Well, I think we can all guess.
I want to jump in real quick to also talk about the Ravens. That Ravens and Bengals game. That Ravens and Bengals game was insane. I honestly, Lamar, he put. And I feel like we say this every year, right? Like Lamar puts the team on his back. They got talent over there, and I mean, obviously Derrick Henry last week with that vintage performance, and he obviously had a big run for the Ravens. But it's like they're finding something. The Ravens could be 4-1 right now, right? They could be 4-1. They have honestly I mean, that first game against the Chiefs, they had a potential. It could have been 5-0. And those are the things about the Ravens that kind of piss you off a little bit, because you look at Lamar and look at what he's able to do and how great he is, and then you look at what they have not been able to do at certain points. And one of the things they have been able to do is keep their leads. And this is still kind of an issue, right? Because they were struggling against the Bengals and they pulled out a gutsy win. But I guess it's better to get those close wins and those tough games out the way early, so that when you get to the playoffs or get closer to the playoffs, you kind of, more of a well-oiled machine and you can get things rolling. But I love watching that game. I think everything went as I expected for that game. I expected it to be a shootout, expected it to be, kind of a back and forth game. I was a little nervous there, but Lamar made some plays, man. Lamar made some plays. I believe that touchdown pass to Likely, that was insane. That was one of the most insane plays we've seen this season. So I think that was one of my favorite plays. Is probably my favorite play of the entire week. But the Ravens and the Commanders, they coming up. That's the game that I'm looking forward to this coming week. I can't wait to see that game. I think it's going to be that's a I don't know. It's going to be a clash. That's going to be a clash, and I'm excited for that game.
We are excited to welcome in, man. What about them Ravens there, Apollo? Putting it down on the fucking Bengals, maybe putting them away in one of the games of the year. We were just talking about how, it's a must win for the Bengals. They're fighting for their lives. But it was just one of those days that Lamar Jackson said, too bad. I'm the best player in the league. It's just not happening.
First of all, hello, fellas.
Yep.
And
Brother.
and number two, yeah. How about them Ravens? That was a gutsy win. And they needed that for damn sure. Because it wasn't looking pretty. As solid as they were being, Joe Burrow was just determined to try to win that game for his team, and it was looking like he was going to, until a few things finally went the Ravens' way. That's also in terms of calls as well. I just think that was a win that showed the team what they are supposed to be, what they're supposed to do. Because they were a shell of themselves basically the first quarter of the season, especially those first 2 or 3 games. So for them to have a divisional opponent, and even though if you check the record, Lamar's record against the Bengals is like 8-1, some shit like that. But either way, Joe Burrow is Joe Burrow. I mean, that boy is a gamer, and he was determined to try to win that one. But unfortunately for him, they had a fumbled snap and fumbled kicks and stuff like that. So, and we almost lost, due to Lamar's fumble and things like that. But the football guys was on the Ravens side, and I'm glad for that. Now, I will say this: I did hear about that play that True talked about, the touchdown to Likely, but that other play. That 12-yard run that Lamar had, he was like juking and twisting and just shaking niggas out their shoes. I'm like, bruh, that's Lamar. You know what I mean? That's his essence.
Yeah.
Pure quicks, pure jukes, so shifty, and that was amazing. And like I said, I'm glad. Now, I know we didn't talk about week 4 yet. I don't think y'all did yet, but I know they got a clash coming up against Washington, so that should be a game to watch, definitely.
Hell yeah, big time game. We're gonna find out. Because we discussed earlier, if this Commanders thing is this fucking for real? Are we gonna buy into this? And it's gonna be a big measuring stick against the Ravens. So I was about to come up on my what stood out to you week 5, and surely it will come as no surprise. What stood out to me, and there's people who come here and they're and sometimes, it's my guy Tay, some of my co-hosts who were like, I'm excited to hear what you got to say about this 49ers situation. But honestly, it's broken record at this point. I've already said everything that I would say. It's more of the same shit. It's just becoming more prevalent now. This team plays like a team full of guys who have fat contracts. Y'all are fucking soft. You don't want to make the week-to-week sacrifices to get the fucking job done. We've missed over 30 tackles in the last 2 games combined. Our point differential is plus 20, and we're 3-2. Because y'all are soft, man. Everybody just wants to fucking lazy through these fucking games and just want to fast forward to the conference championship again. And, when I see things like right, okay, Mason lost that ball at the end of the game. That kind of lost us the game. But on that same play, you had 3 all-pros, Kittle, Trent Williams, and Kyle Juszczyk, all get fucked up on that run play and got blown up in the hole, missed their fucking assignments, and that's how Mason got hit in the backfield and fumbled. Like, right? He gets to hold on to the ball, of course. But it's shit like that. It's missing 30 tackles in 2 games. It's dropped. Oh, my fucking God, the fucking amount of drop passes. You got people on this team. You got Trent Williams is having a subpar season. Kittle dropped 3 passes. Juszczyk's getting blown up in the fucking hole. These are supposed to be your fucking guys. These are supposed to be who's carrying you. All out there cashing these big fucking checks. When was the last time Debo was a fucking factor in a game? Yeah, pretty fucking quiet, right? Because nobody can fucking remember. Because it ain't been
one catch.
It was like 2 weeks
One
ago.
catch.
Well, he was a
one
factor.
catch for 11 yards.
Yeah,
Yeah, a couple
Yeah,
of nice plays, but
against the Vikings. Yeah.
Motherfucker made me lose a fantasy game this week because he didn't do shit.
There we go. So, that's what it is. One thing I will say. So the one thing I will say is relative to what he usually does. Purdy played his fucking role in this fucking loss too. Let me fucking say that. He made a fucking dog shit throw to Kittle on the naked bootleg down there by the fucking red zone. That should have been a touchdown. It's a fucking throw that an elementary school child could fucking make, and he fucked it up and caused Kittle to completely stop and turn around to catch it, and that's why it wasn't a touchdown, and we had to settle for a field goal. And then he missed Juwan Jennings wide open on an out and up where he had the defender completely beat. Just didn't see him. That's either one of those plays, one of them very easy, and we win the fucking game. So he played his role in this too. What I will say is I'm seeing all these people, all these 49er content creators, all these people on 49ers Twitter, all of a sudden are fucking experts on created pressures, fucking got all this shit to say about Brock Purdy scrambling around. I didn't see a single one of you, one single fucking time, have anything to say about that shit. The 25 times he did it and it worked and it was a positive play. Now it doesn't go right one fucking time and everybody's a goddamn expert on this all of a sudden. And this is a big fucking problem and he does it too much and he needs to do this and needs to do that. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Everybody, you guys are hurting. You guys are scrambling for fucking easy and obvious fixes when it ain't fucking there. The biggest problem here is, right, because I think we all see, right, plus 20 point differential. We've lost 3 games by a combined 9 points. 2 of which we were whooping the fucking dog shit out of the other team before we just decided to collapse out of nowhere and start doing the dumbest shit you can imagine possible to lose these games. So the talent is there. The coaching's there. Everything's there. We could stop missing tackles. We could start making the sacrifices that need to be fucking made. You could start catching the balls you're dropping. You could start making your blocking assignments. All those things can happen. The issue is now they have provided themselves zero cushion if there's a couple of major injuries. If right, because remember last year we had Debo went down, Trent went down, and we had the 3-game skid. If you get a couple of major injuries this year, if Trent goes down, if Purdy goes down, Ayuk, if he's deciding to be productive now, Warner, Bosa, if some of those guys go down, we aren't going to have a 3-game cushion. We'll be out. If that happens, you might as well just start fucking scouting top 10 draft picks right now. Get a head start on that shit because it's fucking over. That's the real problem here. I don't think with what anybody has seen, there's any doubt that there's the talent to get this thing turned around and get it turned on, especially as you listen to this. Probably it's going to be tomorrow night. We're going against the first place team who has looked like fucking ass anytime they've played anybody even slightly competent. Hopefully we have a fire lit under us by this point and we can go in Seattle and do what we should do from the talent levels of both teams on tape, which is whip the shit out of them. But I'm not convinced that that's going to happen. I'm really not. I'm not at all. So it's the same shit I always say. Sloppy play, sloppy, soft play from a team that looks like it has a bunch of guys on fat contracts. Got to get it together. So that's my sandwich segment, because that's also what I'm looking forward to next week, is seeing if we get our heads out of our asses, go into Seattle, and do what we should fucking do. Hey, what are you looking forward to coming up this next week of the NFL?
Definitely Commanders and Ravens. I definitely want to see that.
Yeah.
I got the Commanders too, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course you
Jay
do.
Daniels.
Of course
Jay
you
Daniels going to take it over, right? He's going to take that title from Lamar.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not gonna pick the Ravens. There's just no way. But that game was definitely gonna be interesting. It would have been nice if they could have. I heard they were trying to flex it to Sunday or Monday. It was something like that. They were trying to flex. Yeah, they were trying to flex it and switch it with the Bengals and Giants. But the NFL, they prefer the Bengals and Giants. I wouldn't. But yeah. Anyways, that would be a good game. I like Arizona and Green Bay will be nice too. Arizona just came off of a big win. And Green Bay have been playing good football. I'm definitely gonna be tuned into that. And then the London game, the London game this week was pretty good. And what is it? Jacksonville and Chicago looking for Caleb Williams to have another solid game and help the Bears be 4-2 and just silence the haters that don't allow him to be human and allow him to have any mistakes. But yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to.
What about you, True? The Broncos going to keep fucking rolling?
Hell no. Honestly, I don't believe that. I don't believe in the Broncos yet. It's kind of like with the Vikings. Like, even though the Vikings look good, they don't look great. So there's the element of that for me that, fool me once. Yeah, I mean, I know the saying. I don't even want to get into it because with the Broncos, I'm very, very cautious. I'm really looking forward to one game this week, and it is the Ravens and Commanders. There's other games, obviously, that look okay, but the one game that is appointment viewing for me this week is the Ravens and Commanders, because for one, it's Baltimore versus DC. You understand is that it's more to it than just football. Apollo knows what I'm talking about, but it's more to it than just football. Every time they have a game, anytime there's anything Baltimore versus DC, it's just all over the place. It's a big event. It's a thing. So I'm really excited about that. Obviously, Jaden Daniels versus Lamar. Obviously, that's going to be the storyline, obviously, of the game. But interested to see how everything plays out, and that's the game I'm looking forward to the most. If the Broncos win this week, I will come on here next week and I will sing their praises. I will campaign for Bo Nix to be MVP. I will campaign for Bo Nix. Not that he deserves it, but I'm a delusionally campaign for that if that happens. But since I don't expect that to happen, I'm gonna say that with full confidence, so that when it doesn't happen, I can come on here and be doom and gloom about my team again. It's a weird place to not be doom and gloom about your team. So that's where I'm at right now. So I'm not putting too much stock into it. The Ravens and Commanders, that's it for me. That's the game. That's the game of the week, bar none.
Hell yeah. Apollo, same for you?
Yeah. Baltimore, Washington, game of the week. And the crazy thing is, there's a couple of parallels. Um, First, the parallel for the comparison of Jaden Daniels being a African American quarterback selected in Washington D.C. at the #2 overall pick, and to have a hybrid style to be a dual threat quarterback. There's eerie similarities to him and RG3. So you got that coupled against Lamar, who is the elite dual threat QB in the league. And I mean, you got the up and comer who, I mean, some people are saying he's the next Lamar, or he's like the Lamar of the NFC. So we'll see. I think that's maybe a little too high to give him right now, as good as he is.
Oh yeah, I think
yeah,
Tay would say he's a better passer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I hate that. Like, people forget Lamar couldn't throw. He couldn't throw a 5-yard in route in his rookie year. I didn't.
Hey
forget that. I
man,
don't know
hey,
Now,
whoa,
I don't know
whoa,
why they were saying that hard. I'm comparing them to that.
you wildin', brother.
Them as
I
rookies,
agree.
two different football players.
No.
Lamar was
See,
throwing the ball.
as everybody should know, I am not a Lamar Jackson apologist at all. I love him, but he lost a lot of points for me of last offseason, the way he handled it. But so I'm gonna be really real with him. He is not a better passer than Jaden Daniels. No, he's not. But he's a better overall player than Jaden Daniels, especially at this stage. Give the kid time. But yeah. And True also said the Baltimore and DC thing. I mean, come on now. Like this is going to be a game now, because usually we're used to Washington teams not really having a good squad or not really having a good quarterback. So now that they do,
Them niggas be stinking usually. That's what it is.
what you say?
I say usually Washington teams and niggas stink. That's
Right.
that's nice way of saying it.
Exactly. So now we got something that even damn near. So yeah, that's the game of the week for me, for sure.
Lee, what about you? What are you looking forward to this weekend?
I'm not the type to usually look for drama in football because it's already there. But Bills Jets, because
Yeah.
of everything that's going on. I'm also looking forward to Ravens Commanders too, but Bills Jets, because winner of that game gets first place in the division, and I want to see how the Jets respond after firing their head coach, and it feels like everyone's blaming Rodgers, and rightfully so. Yeah, and the last time these two teams met on Monday Night Football, Rodgers tore his Achilles and effectively ended Jets' season. And usually, the Jets' defense gives Josh Allen all kinds of problems, like they did last year. So that's the game I'm looking forward to.
I'll tell you one fella who ain't blaming Aaron Rodgers, and that's Aaron Rodgers. You can blame DAR Sports Media for disrupting the sports media landscape. That's what you can blame us for. We got our NFL show right now. We got college football. Me and True are going to saddle up for another week in wrestling soon, because there's been some big stuff. Great Bad Blood pay-per-view to review, the AEW media deal dropping, all kinds of stuff. So we'll get one of those to you soon. College football coming up later on this weekend. A shocking weekend. We say it every week on that show. Every week in college football is a good football week. You just don't know which games it's going to be. And it was about 6 or 7 of them this past weekend. A phenomenal weekend in college football. A phenomenal Saturday in sports in general, between the college football, everything that went down, Bad Blood, UFC that night. Goddamn, we were just fucking feasting this last weekend. All that and more coming out soon. And that's because the Medium site, tearing it up. Of course, as always, we have so many talented writers on staff pumping out great fucking articles for the Medium site. So check that out as well if you want to enjoy DAR at work, but be able to hide the fact that we're on here motherfuckering it up all the time. Jump on the medium site, do a little bit of reading. As you can see, with all of the stuff happening across the board, goddamn.
Actually,
DAR. What's up?
Actually, before, be remiss if I didn't mention that in about 48 hours, less than 48 hours now, myself and Apollo have a brand new album coming out. Time is of the essence.
I was gonna do that tomorrow night since we're doing another show tomorrow night.
Oh no, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this every day. Every day, a reminder. If you listen to the NFL show, you listen to the college football show. Hell, if you listen to the weekend wrestling show, time is of the essence. 11 songs. Myself and Apollo. It drops midnight. Basically midnight. Well, midnight. Yeah, midnight. By the time people hear this, probably midnight. So make sure y'all check that out for sure. We put a lot of effort into it. Really not a lot of effort, but we do. You know what I'm saying? And we got way more coming.
From the dynamic duo with DA.
The first in a year. The first in a whole year. Didn't realize that. It's the first album with just me and Apollo in a full year. So got a lot to say. So I should definitely check that out.
Someday on an album, the first track just got to be me doing the "You Are Now Tuned In" to DAR. We got to do that sometime. As you can see, college football, NFL, soon to be NBA. As soon as we get the schedules synced up, weekend wrestling, the music world, the writing world, we're fucking everywhere. And that's because the world of DAR never stops.